So I did my case study on a boy named Joel, who is 11 and a half years old in the 6th grade. He goes to PSIS 25 on Arthur Kill Road on Staten Island, and he's in a District 75 school because he's labeled as emotionally disturbed. He has ADHD. He's very hyperactive. He is very learning delayed. He's actually in the 6th grade, but he's learning and reading at a 3rd grade level. So with that being said, I provided my informal reading inventory to him, and I tested him to determine his reading instructional needs. It was clear that he was learning at a 3rd grade level because I tested him with a word list. I began with a word list, which had 20 words on it, and I just needed him to read it. So as he read the 4th grade word list, he had difficulty getting through half of it. He kept pausing, he was getting frustrated, he was tapping his pencil on the desk. So I went back to the 3rd grade list, and he got most of those correct, but he did have a little bit of frustration. In a list of 20 words, he got about 14 correct and 8 incorrect on a 3rd grade level, but he is in the 6th grade. So he has poor word attack skills, poor vocabulary acquisition. He's unable to infer meaning from a passage. So I began with the word list on 3rd grade word list. Again, like I said, out of 20 words, he got 14 correct and he got 8 incorrect. I did test him in the 4th grade, but he had a very difficult time, so I stopped at the 4th grade level. The next part of the reading inventory was the comprehension part, so it was oral and silent reading. I had Joel, which is the boy's name, read a passage. I read to him, he read silently, and then the next part was comprehension questions. So I would sit there and I had a piece of paper, I had the paper with all of the questions, and as I read the questions to him, I had to have him answer the questions. So through reading silently, he was supposed to come back and comprehend what he read. He had a very difficult time because he does have poor vocabulary acquisition, and he's unable to infer meaning. He has a hard time comprehending. So through this, after the reading of the vocabulary and after the silent reading and oral reading passages, I went on to make my own intervention program for him. I came up with a 6-week program in order to help Joel in all of his needs, since he is emotionally disturbed, since he does have, since he is hyperactive. I began to think of things that would help him and benefit him in his academics so that he would at least progress in another reading level. So since he's reading at a 3rd grade level, I would want him to progress to at least a 4th grade level within these 6 weeks. I began by saying in my case study that graphic organizers are a great, excellent way to organize his thoughts. So when he is in writing class or reading class, having graphic organizers available for him so that he can organize his thinking process, that would be a great help. I would also recommend more one-on-one time for him. He really would benefit from that one-on-one time. Extra time on tests, time management, extra time on tests, extra time on anything that he's working on in class. That would help too. Since he is learning delayed, he is set back a little bit, than the other kids, so he needs that extra time to process his thinking and be able to do his work. Repeated reading is a great way for Joel to actually sit and read and understand what he's reading. It gives him the chance to go back and reread it and really think about what he's reading and jot down notes if he really needs to, cliff notes on the side. just so he could go back and pinpoint the main ideas, to improve his fluency and comprehension. Um, Other than that, I think that Joel really, really, really is a sweet kid. He comes from a low class family. He did have his father passed away at a young age. He was at a young age. It was gang related. So all of these things together, he's culturally diverse. He lives at home with his siblings and his mother, who raises them alone. He's delayed. He is hyperactive. All of these things in my 6-week plan really would go, it really would benefit him in his comprehension skills, learning the main idea, and being fluent in his reading. So that's what I came up with. Thank you.